How's it going, guys? Lame Boy Classic back at you with a Super Nintendo versus Game Boy review. We are going to be talking about Disney's Aladdin. Now, I don't believe that these two games were actually released as the same game. They've got the same title, but I think the original Aladdin was released on Sega consoles as well as the Nintendo Entertainment System. However, these two games are, I paid money for both of these to try and go ahead and do this review. I'm sure they're similar enough to where I can at least get, a first game versus second game review. Now, I would have just gone ahead and done the Nintendo Entertainment System. However, I don't have an original Nintendo. I insist on playing games on their original hardware. Other people might use, emulators and things like that, but me, I try to use the real thing.
What you want, cookie?
Sue me.
Please don't do that. I can't afford a lawyer.
I hope you guys are enjoying this type of thing. I haven't really gotten any comments or anything like that, or anything specific letting me know that this is working well for you guys and all that. But just let me know, y'all. I mean, I'm here for you guys. I want to be as good in the content creating as I could possibly be. And if you guys want to see anything, what games and systems I currently have. I've got comics. I've got got some other obscure collectibles and things like that you can probably see behind me and things like that. But I hope that you guys enjoy the review. I'm going to be trying to delve deep into how they control, how the graphics really affect the gameplay, and if it's really worth picking up on the Super Nintendo, or if playing it portably is worth the difference in graphics and everything like that. So I find that you get most of the time that, for most people anyway, less desirable to get something portable, especially if you're going to be able to have better graphics that way. For me, I've always preferred having it portable, being able to be doing anything and playing a video game, or be anywhere and playing a video game and not having to lug around a whole wired console is a big deal. Might have to do with how I grew up. My first system that I was allowed to own was a Game Boy Color. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into the review. This is Aladdin on the original Game Boy. Have to ask you for some forgiveness on this one. I was lost most of the time in this game, and where this footage is starting, I actually didn't even know what to do at this point. Sometimes they want you to collect, other times they want you to progress to the end of the level, and that's just the start of it. You've got odd hit detection, you've got a weird switching system between your sword and your, I don't know if they're bombs in this game or apples, but I know in the next game they're apples. But I could not figure out what to do in a lot of the levels, and I got decently far. I think I got in 3 or 4 levels. And one of the other things that these games actually both boast is a roulette system at the end of the level, which I think is interesting. And that's really cool, honestly, to kind of break it up between each level. So you're not just doing the action platforming and then just moving on. This level, you're about to see something really funny here. I don't know how this happened, but I don't know if you just saw that, but I'll show it again. Yeah, I just threw that bomb through that guy. I mean, I don't know how the hit detection works in this game, but it is absolutely terrible. Once again, like I said, a lot of this footage is just me being lost and trying to figure out what certain things are. Like, for example, that pot that I just jumped away from, it didn't have one of those weird strings pop out of it, and I'm not sure why. And I guess it actually ended up being that you have to collect the ropes, or because you had to collect this certain thing to go ahead and make it work, but I couldn't tell you honestly how that fits into it. And the thing that you collect to make that happen doesn't even look like a rope. I don't understand how how they came to the conclusion that that was what was needed to go ahead and get that to move forward. It's an odd hybrid between a collectathon and an action platformer, and almost a maze or puzzle in a way, because you're trying to figure out where to go the entire time. Because, as I said, sometimes you have to get to the end of the level. Other times you have to collect a bunch of things and then you're done. Yeah, just not an overall pleasant experience with the Game Boy one. The graphics are fine, but the mapping, however they made these levels, they had me lost the entire time. So honestly, it's just a overall bad experience, and I don't know if I would play it again, but it did end up crashing on me. The game crashed. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into Capcom's version of Aladdin, Disney's Aladdin. And the reason that I think this version is miles better than the Game Boy version is probably because Capcom being involved. Capcom just had some great platformers on the Super Nintendo. If you find a game with Capcom's label on it for the Super Nintendo and it's just a platformer, please do yourself a favor and pick it up. It is a fantastic company, and they did a great job doing platformers on the Super Nintendo. Now, as you're seeing here, there's a lot more story in this one, and makes you kind of feel like you're in Agrabah, and you're kind of getting an extra part of the movie. So definitely good on them for having some good storytelling and everything like that. And it was actually funny, the original one that I was playing ended off right about at this point. And I thought that was really funny because I started this one right after, and it was like continuing. It was almost as if I didn't even skip a beat. And as you see here, Jafar sending the original thief into I can't remember what the cave is called, or I'm not sure, but it does end up killing the first guy. Yeah. You heard me right. It kills him. I mean, it's not directly shown, but still, you find some things like that in some older Disney games, movies, and things like that they would just never participate in now. So now he's saying that he has to find the diamond in the rough, as the same verbiage that they use in the movie. And honestly, the first thing that I want to say about this game is just that the graphics are great. But first, you see that I'm just throwing these these apples at this guy constantly, and I didn't know that it wouldn't actually kill him, because in the original game, I think there were bombs, and they actually would kill enemies. But I just senselessly threw multiple apples at that guy, and I thought that was funny. I had to leave it in. But the platforming feels great in this game. Springing off of the top of an enemy like that is just, it feels great. I mean, it's very smooth, and the graphics are some of the best that I've seen on the Super Nintendo, but that's once again another thing that Capcom boasts and always does a great job of. You see me grabbing the collectible scarabs that you find in most of the levels here. And in this game, the apples just stun your enemy. It's a useful mechanic. But it's still on par with the original game, which I thought was very interesting. They kept a lot of the same aspects throughout each game that I've played today. And I thought that was a really cool thing that they did as well. Somehow they revitalized the gameplay to feel smooth, great graphics and everything like that. Although the original on the Game Boy, I'm not sure, can't speak about the NES or anything because I haven't played that one. But the Game Boy version versus this one, you can tell they just took so much care in making sure that it had its similarities, but moved forward and seemed like a step in the right direction. Now here you'll see the break time once again, and the roulette, which was as I said, a cool little mechanic to break up the platforming. And now we're on the rooftop level, which, like I said, you have these swing things that you're going through, these different platforms, and it's just really cool. The whole time it was switching it up on me, and I felt like they really did take so much care with this game. And I honestly think the controls are much better. I don't think that has to do with the button limitations. Here's a boss battle, by the way, in the first level. That honestly was really cool. You had to learn the mapping of how he would attack and everything. And once again, just intricately thought of and used very well. And just the difference in the levels as well. You can tell that they took a lot of care putting it all together and making sure that you felt like you were traversing through the movie itself. And, the whole time I was having a blast. I really do think that I'm going to go back and maybe play this all the way through. And at the same time, it still felt like a challenge. You think going back and playing an older Disney game, you might have, trouble with that, and you might not have as much difficulty and stuff. But Capcom made sure to just do this game its justice and continue on this little franchise, or I don't know if you'd call it a franchise, but it went on for a couple more games, and the Aladdin games, from what I know, are all decent. I don't think I'll go back and play the Game Boy version, however. So here you'll see me continuing on and playing through this lava level. And after that, you will see that there is a Battletoad-esque thing that they did here, where they have you, I don't know what you would call it, auto-scrolling, dodging type thing, where you're just moving forward and you're trying your best to dodge things that are coming in your way. But honestly, had so much fun with this game. If you have the chance, go ahead and get the Super Nintendo version. Skip the Game Boy version, and you won't hear me say that often, I'm sure, as I love the Game Boy. But Super Nintendo game, go ahead and get it, and hope you guys enjoyed the review. This is Jafar, my tortoise. Yes, his name's Jafar, and he also hopes you liked the video. Like, subscribe, do what you do. Thanks, guys.